Test, test. Test, test. Test, test.
It's just for now. No, for now, just do the single. Yeah. All right. Welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. We are here today to talk about utility rates, which if you're here to take a nap, I'm sure we can make that accommodation as well. But we want to kind of do a quick presentation, let you explain kind of what we've done, why we've done it, where it came from, and then we will open it up to questions. You can come ask me one-on-one, or if you'd rather, we will walk a mic out to you for you to hold and ask if that is your preference. But just going to a very quick, brief bit of history. The city maintained water rates at a constant level for many years, up until a rate study was done in 2022. A rate study is where we go out and we review how much funds are being brought in revenue versus how much the cost to maintain the infrastructure that exists to provide the water, the cost of the water, and the cost of all the financing used to purchase that infrastructure in the past.
The revenue that you're talking, are you talking about revenue collected or?
Revenue collected, yes, from utility.
It was actually billed.
Revenue collected. You never assume you're going to collect 100%. So a study was done in 2022. That study proposed a new set of rates. At that time, council reviewed and decided to do a tiered process to roll in new rates. I believe it was a 3-year plan. Year one included a light increase, and then there was going to be heavier increases in year 2 and 3, and nothing ever happened in year 2 and 3. So those increases did not occur. So we have been the utility fund, which funds all the infrastructure for you to receive water, for you to have sewer processed, for all your storm sewer and all of those things, has been in the negative for many years now. So one of the main goals of this is to get that fund to where it is self-sustaining, which it should be. In fact, it should be making money so that it can help support the general fund to cover the costs that the general fund uses to help provide services for the utility fund, such as administration, accounting, all of those things. So it should be providing a little bit of money to the general fund every year. So we utilized the same information from that 2022 rate study. Instead of paying to get a whole new study done or taking the months it would have taken me to do a study. So we used the same base, but we did pull new usage information. And so we took that information and then we converted all of that into what is best practice in the water industry. So the new rates, as they are proposed in the ordinance, which has made it through a first reading of council, and will be up for a second reading and the final approval Monday. They are broken down between sewer and water, separate rate tables. And then within that, there are a significant more breakdowns to allow for us to more accurately charge customers based on usage, the type of entity that it is, and to ensure that our infrastructure is guaranteed to be able to be paid for. So for water rates, you are either a single family residential, so if you own or rent a house, or you are separately metered for the community you live in, so that's a single family residential. Commercial and industrial are one category, right? If it's a business, it is charged in those rates. And then multifamily, that's single meter mini units, right? Has a different rate set. Within that, there are 2 breakdowns that occur. The first is our base fee. This used to be called the meter fee. But what this really is, and so we're trying to do a better job of explaining it to citizens, is this is the cost of the infrastructure. Sorry, I have a slight cough. To get you that first drop of water, right? All the city-owned pipes in the ground that traverse that water to your residence and to the meter. We have committed in the past and will likely have to continue to commit in the future, bonds and loans for the ability to build that infrastructure, to get better meters, all of those things. All of those have to be paid for out of revenue from the utility fund, these bills. As part of that, this base fee allows us to guarantee that we can pay those debts, and that we can make sure that the infrastructure still exists. After that, in addition, we have also started doing charging you by the size of your meter line. This doesn't really affect single-family residential. This mostly affects commercial and industrial. So as far as I am aware, every single-family residential has either a 3/4 or 1-inch water line, which are charged at the base rate. But many commercial entities have larger lines. And so the larger your line, the higher your infrastructure costs to have that line, to replace that line, to maintain that line. And so the larger that base fee is for those entities. Yes.
Zone business and you got rezoned residential. So
It's-
they're still gonna be charged?
It's based on what you're listed at on the utility side. And we can find that out for you. My assumption would be you would be residential, but we can verify that.
What's the case that that's how you get charged? You're gonna be charged more on a commercial than you would a residential.
You're charged based on the type of entity you are. When you actually sign up for your water and sewer account, you have to fill in what like your address, what type of entity you are, whether you're a business, right? If you don't indicate that, then you're not going to be charged as that. You have to let us know that you're a business.
Yes, I'm still not clear.
For you to be charged as commercial, it's not based on your zone, what your zoning is. It's based on what you tell us when you,
What the purpose intended for
with,
that particular property. That's what you're saying.
yeah, when you actually register to have water turned on, part of that form, it requires you to tell us what you are, what type of entity you are.
And even if it's a residential home, let's say it's a daycare, right?
Mhm.
We're charging you by the line, your water line.
Yeah.
If it's a residential, you're not gonna have a 6-inch water meter. You're gonna have a 3/4 inch or a 1-inch. So you won't be charged what commercial is using. Raising Cane uses a 6-inch.
But what if it used to be commercial?
Exactly,
Now it's
that's what I'm
residential,
saying.
Well,
so
it'll
you
still
have
be
to
the
pay
same.
for a water line.
It just depends on. It depends on what size meter you are. I mean, if it did get rezoned, I mean, you're still gonna be charged. I mean, the meters didn't change. Unless you change meters, but if you are zoned commercial, residential, I guess. The meter wouldn't change, you know what I'm saying? Unless
No, I'm
you
not
got-
talking about.
But what she
I'm not
said,
talking about the meat.
what you were saying is you're charged by the size of the water line, and a commercial would have a larger water line. So
Yes.
what if the place that you're in used to be commercial with a larger water line, but now it's residential?
Exactly.
So you are residential, but you've got the bigger water line because the property used to be commercial.
So in that case, you would have,
You still
well,
have a meter that's going to tell you how
Yes.
much money went to that property.
yeah, so,
So this is kind of a,
so
what about the quality of the lines y'all bring to my house? All mine's new. I got a few, keep on going.
So the size of the meter line has a fee associated with it, whether it's no matter which category it is. So if you are currently residing somewhere that used to be a business, you took it over and converted it into a house. If that location has a meter line that is larger than the 1-inch, then you will be charged at the residential larger than 1-inch rate, not the commercial. But you do have to let us know that you're not still a business, which you should have done. We should. Well, again, when you register for your account.
You tell us, we'll call development services and verify that, okay, it's rezoned as residential.
Yeah.
It's rezoned as commercial,
But yeah, that process happens when you sign up for water. So I assume everyone in this room has already done that.
Churches are considered commercial.
That is
Regular
correct.
line, but they're still commercial.
They are considered commercial. That is correct. Um, so that's how again, that infrastructure base rate works, right? It's based on the size of your line. Bigger the line, the more capability we have to push water through it. Also, the more expensive that physical line is, and the infrastructure to get that line to you. That's why that charge goes up. And then for sewer, it's basically the same thing, same style of breakout. There's a set for infrastructure based on the size of your line. It is slightly higher because sewer has to also pay for the wastewater treatment plant, right? So because it's got a whole additional infrastructure set that it's got to pay for, that base fee is higher. But it's the same style in terms of how it's calculated. In terms of the next set, now we're talking consumption, right? This is how much water do you use? The base rate is charged if you use water or not, because we had to pay to get infrastructure out to your location. And so if you don't use it, we still had to pay for that infrastructure. We still got to pay the debt that was incurred to pay for that. So that happens off the top. Then you're charged based on how much you consume, right? That is broken down into 1,000-gallon increments, and you're charged every 1,000 gallons a certain rate. We have increased those rates on the lower end of the usage. Those rate increases are fairly small. On the higher end, those rate increases are very large. There are two reasons for this. The first is the more water you use, the more wear and tear on the system you generate. And so you're paying extra for additional maintenance that will have to be required on the system because of the amount of water you use. That's why consumption rates go up the more you use. The second is we are required to pursue conservation of water. It's one of the state requirements. In addition, it is just good practice to work on water conservation. Water is not unlimited. And the cost of water to the city is also a big part of the reason rates continue to have to go up, right? So we buy water from the water authority, as does everyone in the area. It's not like we have any real options there. Unless somebody wants to donate about $4 billion for us to make our own water facility, which I don't anticipate anybody does, we have to buy water from them. So we are subject to their rates for us to buy water from them to then provide to you. They are increasing 20% this year. They have given us indications that they are going to increase another 20% next year. And in addition, they are making major improvements to their infrastructure. And we are anticipating what is referred to as a cash call, which is where they say, hey, we need X amount of money based on the amount of water that is used by an entity to cover the cost, portion of the cost of that facility increase. We don't have an idea of what that number would be, but we want to make sure that we can afford to pay that, because we want to be able to keep providing people water. So that's why those rate increases are there. Again, the more water you use, the higher that consumption rate goes. Again, you're harder on the system. And we are, again, trying to push conservation. We're trying to hope that a higher bill causes you to, enact some conservation practices and just use less water. If your water is entirely high because you do a bunch of work in your yard, there's a whole separate way for that to be handled. You could have a separate sprinkler meter that only gets charged water, and on a separate bill entirely, meaning you get to split those water costs over two different things. So instead of using 3,000 gallons to water your lawn and 3,000 gallons at your house, instead of getting a full bill for 6,000 that includes sewer, you would get a full bill for 3,000 and just a 3,000 gallon water bill, vastly cheaper. So if that's what you're doing, we do have a method to make that infinitely cheaper for you. In addition, there are separate rates, again, for consumption based whether you're a residential, commercial, or multifamily. Again, commercial and industrial, which are that one category, they're the hardest on the system just in general. The type of use that they do, and the stuff that goes in their water is just harder on the system to clean, get out, all of those things. And then the last piece we want to talk about is in the past, there was a senior discount. It was for utility rates. It was only on sewer, and it was $1 even, correct?
65 cents off.
I thought that was
$1.
solid waste. I thought it was reversed. I thought it was 65.
Yeah, it's 65 cents.
Okay, so 65 cents once on your sewer only, not on water. The new proposal has a $1.50 senior discount, but it's a $1.50 for every 1,000 gallons, and it's both water and sewer. So it is a significant increase in a discount for seniors.
Doesn't the senior discount cover late fees as well?
Yeah, the first late fee.
Yeah, there are
It's
additional.
Additional 7 days.
Yeah, there are additional things. This ordinance and the thing we're working on is specifically about the rate and stuff. We're not making any changes today on fees and penalties. That's something we're looking at and we'll bring forward at a future date for changes in those, which are also lower than they should be.
Getting our water, or you guys, this city gets its water from where?
The Gulf Coast Water Authority.
Is it-
Everybody here gets their water from there.
Now,
Everybody. Well,
That's what
so if you're comparing the bill to Texas City, the one thing you have to account for is Texas City subsidizes their residential water rates with industrial water rates, right? All the plants pay extra to subsidize and lower the citizens' water rates. I don't have all those plants to subsidize with. If I did, the numbers would look different. Unfortunately, the city of Marque doesn't have all that industrial revenue to subsidize. But if you compare the rates to Dickinson, Hitchcock, any of the other areas, our low end will still be low. So low users will still be on the low end of average. Our middle users, so that like 3,000 to 6,000 gallon range a month, will be right in line with average. But our high users will be paying higher than average. That's how we purposely tiered it up.
Your meter, how often are those meters changed out? Are these gonna be like the same meters from 60, 70, 80s, or is it changed out every so often?
Most of the meters are new within the last.
2018, that's when we switched over this last meter change. So they have a lifespan of 20 years.
But if you feel your meter has an issue, let us know. We'll come out and look at it, and we'll change it out if we need to.
Are those meters physically read every month?
No, they're picked up by satellite.
Yeah, they're
So we have a software system that automatically picks up. Now, those that let's say something was blocking it or for some reason didn't pick up that month, our meter tech will go out there and physically read the meter.
Is there ever a time that a tech goes out and confirms the numbers?
Yes,
Whenever, right, so whenever we don't like that, let's say we get a read that's off the charts and doesn't even match up to what previously was read, we'll send a meter tech out to say, hey, go reread that meter. Or if a resident calls and says, hey, I don't feel like this is right, or my bill, can you check my meter? We'll send a meter tech out there to verify that those numbers are accurate in line with the previous reads.
There's not like
Is there
a
a
quarter,
charge?
there's not like a quarterly or annual review, just. look at them?
No, we don't, fortunately have right now we have one meter tech, so we don't have the staff,
oh, we don't have two anymore
no.
that work on
We're-
Sundays for no reason at my house. Okay, that was one.
we're working on getting the second one back, but we don't have it at this time.
So it's not a charge for a reread, right?
Is that $1.50 And these numbers here.
Yes,
Okay.
that's why there's a set of columns for seniors and a set of columns without, yeah.
Doesn't show on your bill that you're getting a break. I don't know how they do their accounting. If they're knocking off $1.65, why does it say we're taking out $1.65 and you write your check for this? There's something wrong with that.
So that is the way the bill was set up, is that it does the calculation before it puts the amount on your bill. Part of that is also space, right? The bill has a limited amount of space for charges.
Right?
And so the more lines you add, the more difficult it is for us to actually fit that bill within the parameters of the physical bill itself, the actual document.
The cards were great. We didn't have all these problems. We just got the card.
Yeah.
Okay, so-
Yeah.
So who's paying for the last 5 years of all these tremendous leaks? On Westward, down by the golf course, it's gone on for months and months, like where cattails. Are we paying for that also?
So that does not come out of y'all's bill.
Who pays for that? Like when the contractor's busted and we don't have water for a day and a half? Who's in charge of paying for that?
So if it's a contractor issue, then the contractor takes that out of their payment that they receive for the work. It's deducted out of that payment.
But it
If-
doesn't reflect on our bill.
It is not. So until water has physically moved through your meter, nothing hits your bill except the base, again, that flat base charge, that's the same. Until you have to have water physically move through your meter for it to, so if there's a giant leak and it's in the city's infrastructure, that cost does not get transferred onto y'all. The city has to eat that cost. Which is one of the reasons the city is working very hard to try and make improvements to infrastructure to make sure we don't have leaks like that.
So the other part of the bill, the trash.
Yes.
So
So we could talk about trash. Trash is not on this ordinance.
it's, okay, let me
But-
say this, okay? My bill can potentially go from a little over $100 to $180 a month, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is devastating for some people in this community. If your water bill averages, what is it, 108 a month?
Mhm.
Says it's gonna go up to $180. That is ridiculous. Or even if it goes up 50%, even if it just went up to $150, that's crazy. So I know part of our water bill includes trash.
Yes, that does include
So
trash.
the question is, we pay a lot for trash here. So why not take the community poll, open it up for discussion? I'd be really happy to get rid of my recycle and have my trash picked up once a week. If it means I get charged less. I lived in Galveston all my life before I moved here. Trash was picked up once a week for everyone. And we had one trash can. If you wanted to pay for a second one, have at it. My neighbors across the street, their recycle is their second trash can. And it gets picked up every week.
And you had a choice again, because I worked for the city
City.
council water for.
Yeah.
on the board for a
Yeah.
long time. It's not different. It was
Yeah.
years.
So
They didn't have a choice.
if
You
there's
had
a,
a choice.
if there is a way to negate some of this raise with lowering the trash portion of this, is that something that could be explored immediately to help give some relief?
I am happy to make a call to Waste Management. Unfortunately, that contract was signed last year.
I fought for it, but
Did we sign a contract?
I
and then our
asked
rate
for
was
it.
raised?
so
Is that, hold on,
Yes.
that's,
So-
hold on, let me ask, that's correct? So
Yeah,
if we signed a contract and
we
then they raised
signed,
our
we
rate,
signed we weren't, didn't have enough time to go out for an RFP. The only person we could get back with was Waste Management. I fought with them saying that there are citizens that don't use this, don't use that. Is there a way to do this? And we were told no. Now, I have sat there and watched Waste Management put my regular trash and my recycle when
In the
I do
same
use
bin.
it once a quarter. And my bulk trash in the back of the same truck.
absolutely.
So are they really doing what they're supposed to be doing?
No,
That's my,
So did we sign our contract with waste management and then they raised our rates?
so it went
The-
up.
the increases were
5%
in the
first
contract.
year, And then it's going
They
up
were in-
5% every year
Yeah.
for
When
3
does
years.
this-
3 years. I believe it's a 3-year.
So this- Of
It's a
the
5-year contract.
3.
three.
I think it's 3, but I'd have to.
Shop
have to
it
double
first.
check.
They didn't shop it.
When is it not worth trying to get a quote from someone else and seeing what a penalty would be to cancel early? Or at least have some numbers in line? This rate, I mean, people don't pay these rates in Galveston. You know, I know you said everything's right in line. I have friends that live on the island. It's like, what's your water bill? Oh, we pay this. And they have more people in their household. I have 2 people, me and an 18-year-old. And she's not home a lot. You know, we don't have a pool, I don't have a sprinkler system, and our bill is still about $100 a month.
And you don't water your
And
yard.
no,
that's for
I
sure.
don't water the yard, I don't garden, it's excessively high and
So
think
some of that very well could be that, and I don't know anything about your specific situation, but just in general, it's very possible that the pipes in your yard leading from the meter to your house might have a small leak.
I've paid over $20,000
Okay.
for me.
Everything.
There's
Everything.
not
The
a
other
leak
things, okay.
anywhere at this point, trust me. I've called, is my meter running? There's nothing on in this house, no, nothing's right, trust me. I've
Okay.
been there, done all of that, and was never approved for a discount.
Yeah,
And hey, it's.
again,
This amount of money for the majority of citizens in the city is,
You're taxing us out of our homes.
it's devastating. I mean, I know you may not think an extra $50 or $80 or $100 a month would be devastating, but it's everything. Food's more, this is more, that's more. And this increase is significant. This is not a small incremental increase. And I'm sorry if they failed to do their job last year and do a small incremental increase and this year is supposed to be smaller or whatever. But it feels like we are being punished as citizens for the failures of what the administration has done. I get you weren't here. This isn't on you. I totally understand that. But to, you know, here's what now you're coming more out of pocket every month. And you have no say in it. You know, live with it. And
well, we're trying to give you a say. That's why we're having the meetings, right? We are trying to let citizens talk to us.
what
give
can
y'all
we
a say.
say to make this increase not happen?
Nothing.
Or not to be this
So,
dramatic?
it hasn't, there's still a vote of the council. Come and talk to the council.
The
I would not be surprised if there are council members that are open ears. These rates are lower than the rates that were proposed on the 2022 rate study. Again, 3 years ago, that would have been what was needed to get the fund back in place 3 years ago. And the costs to the city have also, I know everything's increased for y'all, it also increases for the city, right?
But here's what, as somebody that was up there and that started all his stuff when we did the water rate study.
Yeah.
The next year, when we were supposed to go up, we had 200,000 gallons of water that was saved. So tell me why, if we're saving, we saved 200,000 gallons. We offered like $1.25 to everybody that had a water meter. They could get that back and we could just put that money back into our cost for savings. So of course, we're like, one, let's just build our infrastructure with it. And two, if we're saving 200,000 gallons of water right now, why do we need to go up on rates? That's the reason why the rates didn't go up. It wasn't that we didn't have a plan. What we saw happening didn't need to do it.
So,
That
About
was,
the water loss, when you talking you 200,000 you saved,
yeah, they saved 200,000 gallons. That
it
was,
didn't lose as much.
yeah.
yeah,
Susan Garcia told us that we had a 200,000 gallon credit from the Gulf Coast Water Authority.
Yes, that also coincides with, a few years before that, the city decided to vastly increase the amount of water they buy from the water authority.
Well, and when that gets told and citizens and everybody hears that, nobody wants to go up on a water bill at that point in time.
I can tell you this, and just in real simple, if you don't go up on your water bill, if there aren't increases, we're gonna shut off water.
And we're not, and
Like, that's just,
You really don't have to.
there's,
So why are costs so much more significant than Galveston?
so,
And I use Galveston because
Sure.
I can look
Sure.
at my friend's water bill there and I've seen it.
so I guess one thing is to make sure you're comparing the same amount of gallons, right? So if you look at our,
Bill's cheaper than mine.
okay, so, the way it was set up was for it to be a very reasonable rate for one, like a low rate for 1 to 3,000 gallons. And if you compare to Dickinson, Hitchcock, if you want to go up in League City, you can go all those places, you're going to be less. Again, Texas City subsidizes their residents, so I can't,
I don't know what they pay.
So if half of Lamar on the east side of 45,
yes.
they are paying taxes to the city of Texas City and to their school district. Why aren't they getting a break?
The school district has nothing to do with the city.
But they're paying their taxes.
Yes, and if there was a
part of the
ISD,
city. I
it-
live in Lamar. I mean, I live in Lamar. I used to pay for Hitchcock schools.
Yes.
The city took over the Marque in the school district. That's
Yeah.
why.
it's because you don't pay for a Lamarck ISD. If there was a Lamarck ISD, you would pay tax rates for that. All ISDs have their own tax rate that has nothing to do with the cities.
Do you know how much the garbage is going up? It's $24.95 right now.
It's on the sheet that we gave you.
28.25, what it's going up to. I think it's either 3 or 5%.
Can there not be some negotiation with them to say, hey, what if we cut recycling and cut trash pickup to 1 day a week? I mean,
I asked the council.
is-
They didn't say.
I mean,
anything.
look, I understand nobody wants to take a cut in their contract, but if this is, I don't understand why we don't have any leverage with them.
If they're putting the recycle and the big trash in the same bin, it's fruitless.
Again,
One out.
I can ask. There are not a large, unfortunately, in the area. You basically have at best 3 companies that can do trash. So while there's not an actual monopoly, there's a near monopoly. There's not a whole lot of, options to go. My guess would be that if those companies are smart companies, they pay very close attention to what the other ones are charging and make sure they are charging the same. But we can ask. I just, again, Waste Management has zero reason to play ball in that.
Does Lamarck have does Lamarck have a policy? I just keep saying this, like Galveston. So in Galveston, if I pay for private trash pickup, I can take proof of that or provide a contract or whatever to the city of Galveston. And they no longer charge me for trash. So can I do that here?
No.
I don't think the contract is written that way. I didn't negotiate the contract.
No, I completely understand. Just want the powers that be in the city to fight more for the people that live here, not just go, oh, this is what the contract is. Go and fight with them. Go and
Negotiate.
advocate for us. I mean,
So can I ask you a question? Sorry.
Sure.
With all due respect, and this is, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that. You were not here. Where are they? Shouldn't
Yeah.
they be talking to us? I mean,
they should be taking this heat, not
they
you.
really should.
So,
Take it for the 2 years that I was up there. I'll take it for the 2 years that I was up there.
council is welcome to come to any of these sessions.
They should be in the session.
What, I know that there is some concern that if council shows up, that people will think that council is telling me what to say, which is not the case.
But look at that being, it's like they putting you to be the target person, in my opinion.
And the problem
I-
is, hold on.
There's,
And the problem is, when you ask them about it, they say, we don't have any function with that.
But they were here
We,
and
we,
you weren't.
we made this decision. That's the problem, is there's nobody that's taking responsibility for this or taking leadership of it. Like, no one goes, I can't tell my citizens that this water bill is gonna go up this much. I'm gonna go fight for them with waste management or whatever. You know, I'm going to do this. I would rather the city spend resources trying to make that happen than on other things, because this is something that's gonna affect every single person that lives here. And again, those dollars may not be large for you, they may not be large for me, they may not be large to anyone in this room. But in this community, I would say maybe half the community, that's gonna be a huge deal to them.
yeah, and some of this, again, is we purposefully made the rates, if you use a lot of gallons high, to try and get people to use less gallons and conserve. The average water usage in Lamarck is higher on average than it is anywhere else I've ever seen.
So in 2022, we were told the average use was between 3,000 and 4,000 gallons.
Right.
When we ran the numbers for this last year, that is now up to between 6,000 and 7,000 gallons.
Is
If
that because they've built more neighborhoods and larger houses?
These are 860.
Maybe, I don't know, but we ran the numbers for multiple months before we looked at this. The average is between 6,000 and 7,000.
That's useful data. That was something I was looking for as I came up with. Now, I don't know if you got my email, because I found out from Casey and Kira and them that since I'm still in the system as they have to hold my name for 7 years. that some of my emails don't.
I didn't get a response email. But, you know,
We don't want to beat
If-
you up for having to be the person
Sure,
standing
that's
in
right.
front of us, but we.
part of
you're
my
the one
job,
that's here, so-
part of my job is to take the beating. And so, you know, I know it's not fun. You know, I don't like I wish I had some massive industrial plants I could go and make them pay $10 million a year.
How much would it cost to build a facility for now?
Oh, billion.
Billion, oh, sorry, can't write you a check for that.
Hello there.
Um,
So my big question though is, I'm looking at this and we talked about gray water.
Yeah.
Being harder to push than just water.
Water, yeah.
Right? So my question is at 6,000 gallons, how come does that rate become inversed where the water going to the house?
are you talking about sewer versus,
Yes, where the water going to the house is more expensive than the water leaving the house?
Yeah.
so, that is because I didn't want to make anything more expensive.
So, I mean,
Our wastewater treatment is not sufficient for what we have. So is that why this
Right.
morning when I dropped off my raccoon, they're adding to it?
So,
It's ridiculous over there.
it does not have enough capacity to support the planned houses that Lamarck already has.
It
Like,
did
to be
when they
built.
built it. There
Um,
was Space. with it.
So that's why there's an expansion. The expansion is not at taxpayer expense. The General Land Office of the federal government is paying for the 98% of it.
So we still have the money, but they're gonna,
We don't have any of that money. We send them invoices and then they send us the money to pay those invoices. We're not sitting on that money.
I worked out there for 14 years, so that's fine.
The utility fund and reconcilable?
No, unfortunately, I'm like 3 days into my my third month. We are on the 12th, we are putting out an RFQ for some accounting services to explicitly completely reconcile all of 25. Because I don't have,
I've been offering her for a while. That's what she did. She ran $1 million companies. And let's just get to the bottom of it. All this having to get an extra person, we can't hire, but we're gonna get one of those. We had a woman that she said when she was introduced, well, it'll take me about 3 months to figure out how y'all keep your books. That is a problem. 3 months and you're that financial person. This
She
could
was the
fix
one
it.
that was gonna be taught how to reconcile.
They were
I-
gonna teach her how. All right, we have that.
so, just kind of following up on that. I am not that person. I would love to reconcile them all myself. Unfortunately, I have like 9 jobs, and virtually no time to sit and reconcile right now.
Now, you know me.
And then the other thing is the amount of reconciliations that needs to be done is more than one person can do in the time we have to get them done.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to reconcile everything in our system to the audited numbers of 2024 to make sure our system is starting in a correct place.
And then
Right.
reconcile.
And then reconcile the whole fiscal year 2025. And we had to have that done by at crazy latest end of January. Really needs to be early January.
Balance deals at the end of every
No.
No, for years.
So that's why we need to bring in like a firm of people to come in that can actually have multiple people doing multiple different reconciliations at one time. It's a time meet, like we just don't have the time because I'm not going to be late on the audit, right? And to start the audit, I have to be fully reconciled.
I think we all just feel like as citizens of the city, that our leadership, whether it's council or administration, it's not, this isn't pointed at a single person. But it seems like lately, it has just been, well, we screwed up and y'all are gonna pay for it.
You're gonna pay for it.
Even though people have been saying, hey, we've been hearing that things are kind of going wrong here, everything's fine, y'all are crazy. And then, oh, wait, it's not fine. And now we get to pay for it. We don't feel like, we feel like we're being punished for someone else's, yeah, for the mismanagement. And it's not, I mean, quite frankly, take a cut in your, not you, but you know what I mean, take a cut in your salary, cut something else out, you know.
So we
find something else.
we have been cutting expenses aggressively. Again, on a 20, let's say, I think, and I don't have exact numbers because we haven't fully closed out the year and obviously nothing's reconciled, but my guess is that the spend last year will be somewhere in the 24 to 26 range for general fund expenses. We've cut that down to under 24 in the 23 million range already. And we're anticipating that will be at the end of the year after we continue to make the cuts we're working on. That will be in the 22.5 range. We are aggressively cutting expenses.
But y'all also gonna talk about cutting the employees' hours down to 36 from 40. What do you think your morale's gonna be in the city if you do that?
So,
Maybe that's not much to you, but it's about $80 maybe a week to them, you know?
sorry,
It matters.
And they may not live in Lamar, so you know,
Yeah.
they're not living as he does, but.
let me answer your question in just a minute. Lady behind you had her hand up for a while.
Did you complete your presentation?
Ostensibly, yes. We've kind of gone over all.
It's not just us in this room. We have people that are probably watching that really want to hear about water rates. So I was just.
Yeah.
asking.
We are paying attention for questions that come up online. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to, part of these sessions, the main goal of these sessions is to talk about water rates, help try and understand what's happening. Right. Again, I do sympathize that it feels like everything is being built on the citizens' back. I promise if there's a way to increase revenue that isn't citizen generated, we have looked, we have worked on it, we have executed a lot of those things. We are working on things that citizens will laugh at, but there's absolutely going to be a calendar here in the near future to try and bring in additional revenue. I mean, like we're bake sales, everything. We're looking at anything to bring in revenue that's not, citizen driven. I'll get you in a second. So it's not just that. This is about the actual cost of running the system right now versus what the citizens pay for that system. And it has to be not negative. We've got to get there. I know residents feel like they're gonna be hit significantly, and a lot heavy users definitely will be. Commercial rates are quintupling for a lot of those entities because they've been undercharged for a long time.
And now that we have an I3, why haven't we split up industrial, commercial and industrial so that?
Because there's nothing yet built in the I3. There's nothing to charge in there yet. Yes.
There are.
Once they are up and running, there will be a split. But until there's actual.
But we have legally non-conforming businesses that could be considered an I3 in the city of Lamarck, but they're so different.
So that is something that needs to be brought up at planning and zoning. I can't do that here. That's one of the very few areas that is not mine. So I unfortunately can't help.
Yes, can any one of these entities on here be offshores or bid it on? To make the rates lower?
So we already outsource trash. And I really don't want to try and bring trash in-house because the upfront cost of that is astronomical, buying all the vehicles and then figuring out how we would dispose of it and all of that. So we're really sort of have to go outsource on that. We just don't have a good viable option. We can, when the contract goes up, negotiate a wildly different contract, right? That is something that's can be done. Given we're in the middle of it, we can ask what they might be willing to do, but they have no, other than trying to play nice, they have no reason to do anything, no legal recourse. No, but I don't know off the top of my head what breaking the contract penalty would be with Waste Management if we negotiated with a different company. We can look into it. I don't know. Again, given there's so few companies, I'm not 100% certain that they would even engage in that. But we could definitely.
The citizens, they took a vote, or the council.
We did it during budget 2 years ago, and I sat up there, my phone buzzed both of them, plus emails constantly saying, keep it the same, we like the service we get. And I kept saying, well, I appreciate you saying that, however, I use one trash can maybe once a week. Cause I feel stupid taking one trash bag down on Thursday and then maybe take out a little bit of trash out of the house that's inside my bag again on Sunday. That I'm wasting more money by taking a half full trash bag out to the trash can. So, yeah, I've tried to fight that. Nope, they gave us 5 contracts to approve, and this was the best deal that we thought that they had.
And you only have 30 days to do.
Right, we only
And
had
not
30
do it
days.
Immediately,
Yep.
because somebody will fall.
So it's not that they only had 30 days, it was by city's mistake, someone
It was,
said.
former city
Yeah,
managers.
So
mistake that
yeah,
we
they
got.
weren't in a crunch because oh no, they were in a crunch because someone
Because
failed to do
somebody-
their job.
Because it didn't come back.
Somebody that's no longer here did not do their job.
Again, I will reach out to Waste Management and
I mean,
ask.
maybe.
Yeah.
Again, you
It's-
never know. So I will ask about that. Again, I would just set very real expectations of that. Again, you know, on the water and sewer rates, again, I do understand we have to make the fund solvent. Like it has to happen. And so,
And I'll tell you, I believe nobody in this room doesn't agree with that, but the hard pill for us to take is the amount of money after listening to 2 years of, well, we're actually doing okay, we're actually making a little bit of money, we're actually doing this. We have 200,000 gallons being prorated that, you know, so that's the hard pill for us to go, oh, wait a minute, you want a 97% increase at this level? That's a little much for somebody.
sure, I didn't say those things. Based on the audited financials, those things are not accurate statements. At least,
Presentations after the audit, you get see how great we're doing, guys?
Right.
After
none of the
audit,
audits that have happened in the last 4 years have been good.
They presented,
They
selected
presented it to us
presented
as,
it to us.
okay,
They're
But
on YouTube.
solvent.
Like, the meetings are on YouTube.
Yeah,
so that you're not
You can-
blindsided, this is what
Yeah.
what I'll be given. And water, the proposal 2 for the rate adjustment is the one that I like better, it's a little more aggressive.
okay.
Gets you to,
So, again, come up and talk to council. Because council has approved draft 1, I can't propose a draft 2, right? Y'all have to go and citizens have to go tell council, and then council has to say we would, like changes.
Do this, you'll pass along. Some of us do come to the meetings and we have to leave because we have other things to do.
Yeah.
And when we can't come, we actually do watch.
Yeah.
From home.
Mhm.
So if you go and look at the views that some of the meetings get, so it's really frustrating watching a meeting at home and listening. Well, people don't bother to show up or they leave and they're not listening. It's like, I'm sitting here, I'm listening. And some people are busy and have to watch at a later time.
Yes, our mayor has said that before.
So please pass along that even if we're here and leave early, or if we don't show up, people do pay attention. They
Sure.
are listening. It's not that, it's just that, when a council meeting goes till midnight, you can't plan to sit here on a Monday evening till midnight.
Sure. I understand.
But just
And
let
I
people know
will-
that we do pay it, that we are watching, we do pay attention.
I will pass that along that, there is significant, not just online attendance, but post-meeting, review of what occurred.
and there, yeah, if you go back and look at meetings prior to, you'll see after a week, this jump will spike. Because people finally get a chance to
Sit and watch.
do whatever they're doing and they can at least listen to what's going on. And then the next time they'll actually watch to see what's going on up there as people are doing it.
Yeah. So, again, I'm happy to pass that along. Again, I'm happy to call Waste Management and see if they'll, consider an alternative, methodology. And, I will even see if there's a way we can build in you do your own trash, you don't pay methodology. Even if it's not in the contract, I will look and see if we can do that. I'm not making any promises, but I will look.
It matters that you're willing to do the work. It matters that you're willing to ask the questions and not just be dismissive of the suggestion.
Yeah. So, we take the citizens' opinion and what y'all say and what y'all do very seriously. Meetings like this are not required, but we feel they're very important. And that's why we're having them. And that's why we're going to have many of them, about a lot of the different things that we're trying to do. Because we want not just the citizens to be informed, but for y'all to be able to tell us, hey, we don't think that's the best way to go at this time. Or, even offering up other alternatives that we haven't thought of. We are not omniscient. We don't know everything. So we're happy to, to explore different things. I know it's very frustrating that, a city that 10 years ago was in a place that was, as far as I can tell, pretty reasonable, that it is now not. That's a lot of decisions by a lot of different people. Most of them not meant to be fiscally conservative in what they were doing. And people not knowing what they were doing, right? And that also is a part of it.
Yet there's a sign that says, Vermont All-American City, 2024, and I'm like, who? Where they get it from?
So
Pay for it.
that is that, like a lot of monikers, is a pay for play moniker. I don't know if you can get rejected if you apply and do all the payment. I honestly don't know the answer to that. Would not have been my recommendation if I was here.
Go back to like some of the last 2 years' budget presentation and see how it was presented to us that we are doing fantastic. The economy's rough, but we're in great shape. And I mean, I sat here and listened to them.
I can tell you none of that was true.
And then she moved here. She bought a house here and it's been, I have two other questions.
Sure.
And maybe you know, maybe you don't. Okay, the quality of the water that is being provided
Yes.
to my home. We used to get a report, I think it was biannually, and it said that they were testing our water and what the results were.
Mhm.
We're not seeing that anymore.
Okay.
And I still have brown and sometimes gray water. And my old house has all new
Right.
plumbing, all new PVC, all new faucets. It's a 78-year-old house, but the quality of the water that I'm paying a premium for is not top quality water. And the second thing, I want to know what percentage of the properties inside our city limit are paying the bills for their water and sewer, and what percentage do not have to pay for their water and sewer. This one's really got me.
So let me address the first one first.
Okay.
So water is tested. It's tested every month. Sewer is tested every month. The fact that I didn't realize that they weren't putting that information out there, I will talk with Public Works, which is the department that's over, is over the outside companies that come in and do the testing.
Right?
I mean, I see those bills, so I know we
You're
are,
paying somebody for something.
I'm paying somebody to test. So I will talk to them and make sure that they are aware that the public would like to see those results. There are multiple different layers of testing that occur from like a 10,000 street view. So there's testing that occurs before water leaves the water authority to come to us, right? Then when we receive it, we have to test to make sure that nothing on that chain contaminated it, right? And then as it goes through our facility, before it goes out to citizens, it is tested again to make sure the water is going out. It is not tested at individual houses. That's not a required testing. If you are seeing something, my recommendation would be to put in a ticket with Public Works. And you can, like fill a little bowl, show them this came out of my fridge.
Okay.
And then they would be able to come out and look and see if something is happening along the way. Right.
So I can bring them some water and they'll test it, or my cup that I touch every month.
So instead of testing it, what they'll do is, if it doesn't look like good water, they'll go and trace the line all the way from our facility to your house.
Right?
And see, hey, is there something, right? is there a small crack in a line somewhere? Is there something that's happening that's like actually trying to identify the cause of that, right? I can't give you an exact timetable on where that would fall. Again, it's not my department.
Right.
But I know they try very hard to make sure that those things are found and addressed. Because if it's affecting you, it's very unlikely that it's the small amount of infrastructure that is just from the street to your house, right? It's unlikely that that's where the issue is. It's much more likely that it's further back. But yeah,
I brought them a PVC that was only 7 months old before we had that big February freeze, new PVC, and it's orange on the inside. Everybody saw it, and Public Works couldn't do anything at that time. So,
ask now and see, again, if it's on the city side, the city can look and try and figure it out.
so that's Lisa.
No, that is Shannon and Amanda, Public Works. But there's a Public Works tip suggestion issue tip line.
Yep.
That's monitored, and they can do it. Again, it's not my department, so I can't give
I'll
you.
take it. But what about the percentage of the properties that actually pay for a water bill and the percentage of properties that don't have to pay for a water bill? Can you clarify that?
I don't know those numbers. What I can tell you is the city doesn't pay itself for water, so our facilities don't pay for water, the ones owned by the city. However, the EDC, we still charge the EDC for water. So I don't know who is theoretically getting breaks, but once I look into it, unless there's some sort of super old contract that says they get free water, no one will be getting free water.
In the city limits of Lamar.
In the city limits, that will be a thing that is gone once I have time to dig into it, because that shouldn't be happening. Because again, we don't even give our own entities that are part of the city a break.
Thank you for clarifying.
But again, I can't give you any specifics because I have not looked into it at that level of detail. She's the supervisor over UB, but I don't know that we can figure out that information.
What was that?
Are we waiving any?
Do not pay for water bill other than city. I think that's what.
That aren't paying water bill?
Are not.
Like it's
mean-
waived, is what they're asking.
No one waived paying the water.
Because I've never heard that, so a question.
Oh.
That's why I was curious, because I've never heard that there were.
Oh, no, ma'am, no, there's no entities being waived for water.
Is
You know
there
what?
anybody?
A lot of the losses, renters that run off and don't pay their water bill. And
I mean, that, I
You know,
mean,
That's what a lot of it is.
Is there anybody in the city, other than the city, that doesn't get billed for it?
unless they're on just sewer and don't pay for water because they have a well, but other than that, there's no one that gets.
And the only way to have a well though is to have prior to
Yes.
city.
Yeah.
1986. Well, there's a well on my property, and I was told I can't have a well for my plant. I'm fixing to have a water well. Y'all can call the police. I'll be good.
I won't call no police now.
This is wrong.
Any other city entities that can be outsourced, like the trash?
So I can tell you that you do not want to outsource water and sewer. So to do that, you have to create a mud district. And that mud district can tax you at whatever rate they want to tax you at without citizen approval or vote. And they will, I promise you, that tax rate will be between 70 cents and $1.
What about the inside the city?
So I mean, we can look and see. I'm trying to think. I mean, we outsource several things right now. So like we outsource legal. we outsource, again, we outsource trash, we outsource, I'm blanking on what.
Inspections.
Inspections are outsourced,
Yeah, yeah.
like vehicle maintenance is outsourced.
You can cut down insurance, and a lot of things outsourced to a different company, let them do it.
Sure, and we're looking at something, sometimes you end up in situations where the outsourced entity ends up being more expensive. So, for example, we currently outsource our building inspection, right? The city is currently paying roughly 600,000, a little more a year for that service. Whereas if we bring it in-house, we can do it for 200,000. And so that's something we're actively already working towards, right? So outsourcing is not always
You find somebody.
the way to go.
that has
Yeah, I mean, we're,
I'll do it.
needs to
you gotta have licenses.
take care of that anymore.
Windstorm, home inspector, paralegal.
Um,
Got 6 months to get a plumbing inspector, so I could do that.
As soon as you have them apply, I'm sure they would love to interview you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I've done that before. They don't even have my resume anymore,
Yeah.
only my handwritten. It's okay.
Um,
I don't know. Would I get paid? Shit, I
Yes.
spend a lot of time coming to meetings and getting my neighbors together to try to help the city. I don't know about that.
if you are an employee here, you will be paid for the work you do. That's one of the, most of the time.
Good.
So last I heard, we had approximately 7,500 residential meters in the city.
I think it's 7,600 total. And is it
And
Like-
1,500, approximately 1,500 of those were
commercial?
grade,
Trash.
spring.
No, spring,
Oh, sprinkler.
yeah.
Right? So that drops us down to 7,100 meters. Or is that an addition to,
No,
or 6,100?
no, the what's the number, 7,400 or 75 was everything, was all
Was all the meters.
the, right,
And in that is about 1,500 of those are just for
I
sprinkler
can't
systems.
do it on top of my head,
It-
but it sounds about right,
That was
everyone's
something
not,
that Compion and I had worked on a while back.
yeah, everyone's not on
So-
irrigation either.
So that's around 6,000 residential meters. Now, is there a different, have you looked at a different price structure for just for the guys that use a sprinkler system?
Sprinkler just pays water, but it pays the same breakdown as the infrastructure, because again, they still got to pay to get the line there.
Have you thought about adding that meter, adding a different charge, a higher charge than what you're sending to your residential customers, that it is both water and sewer, because this is just water. And it's not sending it back down the sewer, it's not being conserved, you're just using it for vanity, to have green grass.
We have not, but I am happy to in the future. Again, I can't make any changes to what council's approved. That has to come from, like, from y'all telling council to change it and then council actually doing that. But we can definitely do that for the future.
And then honestly, how many 15 to 16,000 gallon users do you have in the city? Just curious, because it's great to have a number for a user, but if there isn't a user there, you're not really making that money.
We have people that use between 20 and 22,500 gallons.
Residential,
Uh,
that's the key. We're
yeah,
looking at-
so the chart I have does not have it broken down by with me right here, doesn't have it broken down
Okay,
beyond that. But for example, if you want to know kind of the level of water use, we had and these would all be commercial entities, but in terms of like how crazy water use is over July and August of last year, we had one commercial entity use 1.1 million gallons of water. Million gallons of water. We had another commercial entity use over those 2-month period, 800,000 gallons of water. Another commercial entity, 2 commercial entities used 700,000 gallons of water. Another one used 600,000, another 4 used 500,000.
And trust me, I have no problem sticking it to the commercial side. I only really care about residential and single family homes and.
But yes, the largest group of residentials use between over this 2 months, July and August. So hot months,
Right.
right? So you're gonna use a little bit more water.
Is it this past July and August or the year?
This July and August that just happened. More than double any other increment category is the 15,000 gallon increment category over 2 months, right? We had 1,245 of our residents fall in that 15,000 gallon category for that 2 months. That's an average of 7,500 gallons. We have a lot of people that use a lot of water. And so, again, part of this is trying to kind of push some of that down.
Yes,
And that's by far the largest category, more than double any other increment category.
Is there any, like, in the billing department or in whatever that goes, hey, you seem to have a big jump in usage this month. Have you checked for a leak?
Yes.
Like, do people, because, again, I've spent a fortune. No one ever contacted me. And I paid a fortune, and I'd get one fixed. It would be good for a month, and then it would jump up. And it would just, be nice if someone would
And-
contact.
Yeah,
me.
we do our best to
They
see
can
door
tell you.
hangers and call, whenever we do, my billing analyst sees a spike in an alarm, that's what we call it, cause we go through census or software that we get the read from, they give out alarms whenever the usage is abnormal. So if your average is 4,000 and then it spikes up to 10, 12,000, then it'll set an alarm that we're supposed to send a door tag and call to let you know, something might be going on, or we just will automatically send a meter check out there to see and check.
We are, in addition to that, we are just approved at this last council meeting. And my guess is you were on the group that was working towards this for a long time.
Yeah.
We are in partner, ARPA, some ARPA funds were used to purchase a contract with an entity called Aquatrax that lets you on your phone or computer or wherever you want to view your water usage daily. And I think it's even every 6 hours maybe. And so you can set an alert on that app if it's higher than this amount, you want your phone or your computer to send you an email.
Okay.
Right? So
Yeah,
that is,
I can also say, your office. One morning, while I was out of the country between 6 in the morning and 6 in the evening, my one bathroom used 11,000 gallons. I called y'all, said, what's wrong with this picture? And y'all were able to send it to me that all that happened in
Oh, yeah.
12 hours.
Yeah.
After 2 o'clock in the morning, you're reusing water.
Right. My old man doesn't even wake up till 10 in the morning. He was not in the shower or on the toilet, but same with the cows. Go months, nothing. For $16.40, and all of a sudden it's $160. That's why I question, why do we have a meter reader if the satellite's doing it? And. yeah,
well, so the
somebody
meter
says
technicians,
it's a lot.
the meter technicians are there to help the maintenance of all of that. So they're not just there to read meters.
And
I know I call them that, I'm sorry, it's,
That they're,
utility tech.
yeah,
utility tech.
yeah.
What would you say?
We're down to one currently. We are working to try and hire a second one. It is a budgeted funded position, so it wasn't one of the frozen positions. And you need to, because if they have to get in the ground and dig, it's
Someone has to be.
somebody's got to be out of the ground if someone's in the ground. it's an OSHA requirement, so, so, but we are working on that. Again, you know, when I say that, usage is high, I like, it is way higher than I have seen.
Like, we were told 2 years ago that it was 4,000. I was surprised to hear it's now 6,000. I'm surprised to hear there are people now. I don't know
The big, again,
what kind of gardens they have during the summertime and all this stuff, but I know.
the biggest category of users, and this was true also when we looked at the numbers in February, is in that 6 to 7,500 gallon range. That is the bulk, bigger than any other category by double. Why? I don't know, but that is, and we would like to see them get down into the 4 range. We'd love to see them down to the 2 range, but yes, ma'am.
I know that this plan is in forward momentum and the train is on the track, so I understand it's going forward.
Yeah.
And that you can tweak along the way, but I mean, it's already been presented to council and I mean, that's.
So the mechanism, if you want changes, the mechanism is to either before the next council meeting or during citizen comments, come up and say, hey, I understand that rates need to raise. I'm not saying don't raise rates. I would like to consider a stepped plan or, something that, tiers it slightly differently. Is there a way council can request that? And then it be, if they do that and council says that, and they give us direction to do that, then in the December meeting, we can come back and have a different rate set that can be approved then. But
Is it fiscally responsible for us to do that? Because the council will ask, they're gonna ask you, is that?
so,
what does that equal out number wise, what does that look like?
So,
for us?
I can guarantee we'll be in the positive with these rates. Every step we go down, and I've already kind of got some rates kind of worked up that would result in potential different things. Every time we go down, my certainty that we'll be in the good goes down because I don't know what people's water use is going to be when the new bills start, right? I can say if everything stays the same, this is the numbers that need to be, right? Or roughly need to be. But if we have a mass drop in water usage, well, that will save, money as well on the expense side. That fundamentally changes the calculation, and that's very difficult to kind of predict
So
where
I
those
tell you
pieces.
That if you post that first page that I have that's highlighted with the
Yeah.
percentage of how it went up, and
Yeah.
people go, holy cow, at 7,000 gallons, my water bill's going up 97.8%. They're gonna turn their faucet off. That's what they need. They don't need the big sheet, like they need to go, oh, my water and sewer bill are going up $105 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's what they really need to see. They don't need to guess. They don't need to, they're not gonna do the math for themselves. They're not gonna go, oh, it's 238% at 15,000 gallons. What's gonna happen next year? In January, unless you present that number highlighted for them to see. This is what you're gonna get kicked in the face. All they're gonna do is go, well, my water bill's going up. They don't know what it's going, but they know it's going up.
Yeah. Well, again, we have provided, the sheets that show what the due bills would be. Those are available, front counter, all sorts of different places. We've had multiple sessions. We did talk about in the actual council meeting.
That last council meeting?
No, we ran them.
I didn't think so.
No, we ran those after they approved the first draft.
So they approved the first draft, not even knowing what they were actually approving, so.
Yes, sir.
Well, they did they asked some questions, and we told them that, high users bills were going to go up significantly, and at certain points they'll double. We did mention that. Yes, sir.
Are you going to outsourcing the department?
I will bring that up. Uh, the departments that report to me, outsourcing doesn't make a ton of sense, but we can look at.
UTMB out,
Yeah,
different cities have. them.
I'm not saying we won't, again, we outsource.
Be done, and to save the city a lot of money. Period.
In certain situations, it can save money. Again, well, again, we're outsourcing development services, our actual, building inspections and plan reviews. And we're losing $400,000 compared to what we would if we did that in-house. So in not all situations is it's a tremendous amount.
So
So
we shouldn't be outsourcing lawn cutting. I mean,
that is something,
What they do.
it is outsourced.
Houston, we're even employing a local lawn company. Which is great.
And that's another thing.
You're saving on insurance.
You're asking somebody to pay $197 extra on a water bill, but then you wanna charge them $2 for a park fee that they're going.
That's,
Dude, I'm really can't even drive down to the park now because I'm paying $197 extra on my water bill.
I mean,
That's an easy $2 you can save right off the bat. Right. The next couple of years.
There used to be a choice, Mr. Ross. You used to decide if you wanted to help pay for
Right.
the parks.
Yeah, so that would require a separate council action because it's not a thing that utility billing or finance decided. It was believe it was an ordinance in an ordinance that's part of.
Proposal. I heard it was a proposal by a former city manager and where it got put into an ordinance later or something.
Bingo.
But it is in an
with
ordinance.
with the city and the
manager's not
state
here
and
for
the
a while.
financial condition we're in, as far as I'm concerned, we should just be mowing the lawn at the parks. And making sure nothing's gonna injure someone, don't spend any more money on it. It's not a necessity.
So that's that is a conversation that can be had on what we want to do with parks.
They're all fixed up now, I think. I
there's-
drive around, I go look.
There's still some that have some work to do, is my understanding. In terms of that, I will say, I do hope that everybody comes back. We are starting budget sessions in May, or not May, sorry, in February. Sorry, but my goal is to be done with the first round in May. But we're gonna have open sessions like this for citizens during budget, where y'all are gonna be able to talk, and we're gonna do a department by department. So you're gonna be able to come and talk about how much do we want to spend on streets? How much do we want to spend on parks? How much do we want to spend on SWAT? How much do we want to spend on finance? How much do we want to spend on grants? How much do we want to spend? Like, all that's going to be available. We're not just talking to council.
Are you gonna sit down with those departments and have some like, preliminary budgetary numbers prior to us being here, so we kind of have some idea?
Yes. So the plan right now is, so I'm starting budget tomorrow for next year. I have an actual meeting on my calendar tomorrow to start that process. I will work on it until probably the end of December, kind of getting all the base stuff ready. In January, we will bring in the departments, and they will be asked to create 4 budgets for each area that they have. And those budgets will be, what's their dream?
Yeah.
What's their kind of like continuing to function at a reasonable level budget? What's their barely provide service budget? And then what's their nothing?
What's
Like-
the Weight Watchers version?
I mean, literally nothing. And not only will there be numbers attached to that, but then they'll actually have to like have a narrative about what that translates into. Right. So if we use streets, for example, right? The dream budget is, a full 2 street crews, that can maintain every street, fix a pothole, you know, the day it's discovered, you know, get all the streets repaved at a certain amount of time, all that, right? Pristine,
Yeah.
right? The, you know, current to a little bit better, because right now the street crew is wildly undermanned, is, you know, reasonably good streets, potholes fixed within a week or whatever. I'm sort of just making it for a department I don't supervise, but they'll like walk you through what that looks like. Minimum, if the street breaks, they'll fix it, right? Because that might mean their street crew is also their park crew and their you know, part-time water crew, and they can only, you know, they just work on emergencies, right? And then nothing means no street improvements of any kind for a whole year, right? And they'll walk each of those like kind of citizens through that. And then we'll show what that budget looks like. And then we'll even translate that into how much of that is funded by grants, how much is funded by other revenue sources. And then we'll translate that into an actual tax cents, like 0.016 cents of tax to fund this budget, 0.013 to fund this. And then our goal is to do that for everything in the city, and then allow citizens to be able to build the city they want to build in and actually see how that is paid for, what that costs in all the respects.
After monthly close each month, do you have a meeting with the department heads going over actuals versus budgeted?
So they have not done monthly close. They haven't even done yearly close. It's not great. We're working on it. We do right now, the expectation is on the 15th of every month that we will send out a budget to actual, and it will include areas where they are out of a reasonableness level. And then they will have to provide
I just
reasons.
meeting. Yeah, that's where you are, that's where you said you were gonna be, what's going on.
Yeah.
And we have those departments, is it gonna be a department representative from each one of those departments here along with you that we can actually ask questions to as well?
So that I don't know if that's going to be public, although
If you
maybe we
make it
can
possible.
we will make the budget to actual public. So all of those will be public. All the ones from last year through August already are public. They're out on the website now. September's will be sometime before Monday. We're working on those numbers right now. They're not going to be perfect because again, we haven't closed out the year, haven't done the reconciliations, which is why I always say that you have to take these numbers not as exact, but as, you know, ideas. But those are out there. We're committed to publishing all of that information. So anyone can look at any department's budget to see what they're doing. And those will be available. We'll probably make them available even with comments once we start having them put in the comments pieces. So again, that's all going to be out there for anybody to look at. We have told departments this year they are held to their budget. And if they run out of money, they're out of money. It's just that simple.
So we just won't pay the bill.
No, we'll, so basically, so,
We just told bills.
well, no, I pay my bills. That's
I do too.
part of the thing we're trying to work through right now is that was not something that was being done. And so, but, as it looks like different line items within the budget are getting like above standard, we will work with those departments to find items that they're not spending in and do a budget line item transfer from the items that they're way below in to the items that they're above to make sure that that department maintains its budget. If a department looks like it is going over budget, and hopefully that doesn't happen, that is when more difficult conversations will have to be had. It is possible that there will be departments that are doing really awesome and are way under. And in that case, there will be an MOU about transferring from one department to another, but that will come with strings. And so, but yes, budget is something we're aggressively monitoring. And we have been very clear about that, to all of, to everybody.
Thank you for listening to us.
Yep, thank you. And you just keep doing what you're doing. I know something's happening there. Y'all have a great weekend.
Thanks. Sure. Yeah, we appreciate it.
No, you got a lot on your mind too.
It's only the,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
That's going on with you this morning?
Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Yes.
But-
What they're-
Yeah, my wife got a text from your mom. I think 5:30. She said something like that. Yeah.